There was a sudden black notebook falling from above, landing in a place where people were gathered. It seemed to evoke fear, keeping everyone at a distance. A young man who happened to pass by curiously picked up the notebook and brought it home. As the young man opened the notebook, he saw the first page clearly stating that anyone's name written inside would meet their demise. He chuckled, thinking it was a foolish notion. Simultaneously, on the television, there was news of a murder case involving a person named Fat standing before the court without any sign of remorse. The young man decided to test the notebook's claim and wrote the murderer's name inside, finding amusement in his own foolishness. He then closed the notebook and went to bed without much contemplation. The next day, as the young man descended the stairs, he grabbed the newspaper from the table and was surprised to see that the criminal named Fat had died in a mysteriously bizarre manner. Hurriedly, he returned to the notebook and carefully reviewed the note on the cover. It stated that the writer must remember the appearance of the person they write the name of, or else the notebook would be ineffective. The young man realized that this rule was essential for the notebook's effectiveness. "I am a student of a police school," he said. One day, he encountered a notorious gangster who was known for his infamous actions. The young man decided to test the notebook once again and directly wrote the gangster's name inside. Afterward, he cautiously observed the events and witnessed the gangster collapse in fear and terror. Puzzled, the young man went to investigate, and indeed, the gangster had died suddenly. Curiosity piqued, he took the notebook back home. Suddenly, a creature, about 3 meters tall with a bizarre appearance, descended from above. It introduced itself as Rake, a supernatural being and a personification of death. Rake claimed that the notebook belonged to it, and only those who had previously used the notebook could see it. This creature warned the young man that his life had changed from that moment on. If he were to put down the pen for a few seconds, he would become the next to be counted. Since then, strange and unexplained deaths began occurring everywhere. Some seemed to have political motives, while others involved wanted murderers or disrespectful gangsters who disregarded the law. The situation became increasingly chaotic and malicious. People believe that all of this is the work of one person who acted swiftly. Subsequently, the police became aware of the situation, and some believe that such behavior must be severely punished due to its dangerously deviant ideology. However, there are also those who consider it a savior, someone purging humanity of its sins. Even internet users have given this individual a nickname, the God of Death, Kira. Some even argue that Kira's actions are a form of justice. Interestingly, Kaito's father is the chief of police, and Kira, taking advantage of this situation, managed to infiltrate his computer. The computer contains a wealth of information about criminals and unsolved cases. At present, the police have made the decision to take action because no one knows what Kira looks like or what tools they use to commit their crimes, making the investigation extremely difficult. They had to invite the detective Shinichi, who goes by the alias of the Savior, to quickly get involved. During a live broadcast, Shinichi made an unexpected appearance, pretending to be innocent. However, it quickly became evident that he was knowledgeable about Kira's actions, claiming that he had killed hundreds of people and that the police were powerless. Despite the audacity of his statements, he boldly declared that he would capture Kira within 1 month. The God of Death turned his head slowly, perhaps amused or understanding the challenge that had been laid down. The book has been released, and she suddenly writes the man's name in the notebook. The man on TV immediately clutches his chest, shocking everyone in the room. The woman, with a gentle smile, is pleased with the unexpected ability to kill someone directly without lifting a finger. However, the voice on the TV reveals that the man who died wasn't actually him but a death row inmate serving as a decoy. It turns out that this broadcast was planned to create confusion, as it was only aired in a specific province, indicating that it must be within Pham Hui's reach. Once again, the voice confidently declares that they will definitely capture Kira and bring them to justice. At this moment, she feels angry because someone dared to obstruct her path. She'd always believed that everything she did was for the sake of true justice, but justice has long been nothing more than a comedic actor. People's concept of justice is truly fascinating. Quickly, she investigates the timing of the most recent murders and finds a significant pattern. There is a high likelihood that the perpetrator is a student. She immediately changes her habits, and a few days later, the police also discover that every hour, a criminal will die. The current situation is in complete chaos with no discernible patterns. The voice continues to analyze the criminal. It is certain that the person has access to police intelligence and may even be a member of the force. Therefore, they will monitor the entire investigation. Meanwhile, she is walking leisurely on the street, conveniently tossing an apple to deceive the sleep. But she quickly reminds herself not to worry because there is no one around. Suddenly, she stops and takes out her phone, glancing behind her. She realizes that she is being followed. It seems that the god of death has discovered this a long time ago. I want to eliminate him, but you don't know the name of the person following me. The god of death says that if you look into someone's face, you can know their name, but using these eyes comes at the cost of half your lifespan. Kaido, upon hearing this, immediately refuses. He comes up with a better plan, remembering that in the notebook, it is stated that after knowing the cause of death, within 6 minutes and 40 seconds, you will know how the person died. The next day, at the appointed time of 2 o'clock, Kaido meets his girlfriend, and the man following him also boards the bus and sits unexpectedly. Another man appears on the bus, matching the description. Kaido writes on a piece of paper, expressing his intention to subdue the thief. The man quickly tries to stop him and then presents an SBI card to prove his identity. Kaido intentionally drops the piece of paper on the ground, and the thief bends down to pick it up. Upon seeing the content on the paper, the thief puts a gun to Kaido's head. The god of death is surprised that Kaido can see him. It turns out the piece of paper was a page from the death note, and the original name was crossed out in fear, causing the bullets in the bus to explode. As the bus stops, the man rushes out and immediately dies, revealing the detailed manner of his death that Kaido had written in the notebook. However, when he returns home, Kaido decides not to kill the person following him because he believes that the follower is likely not alone and there are others involved. The FBI agent discovers some documents on the subway and realizes that the person sitting next to him is a rapist. Opening his bag, he finds a walkie-talkie, and upon wearing it, he hears someone praising him. Immediately, the agent kills the man next to him. Then, the agent demands that the task force write down the names of all the people following him, threatening to kill everyone present if they don't comply. The task force is forced to follow the order and write down all the names. Okay, so these people are suffering and dying. It turns out that the paper you wrote the names on is actually a page from the death note. The FBI agent just stepped off the subway, and his wife called him suddenly. This agent clutched his chest and fell to the ground, while the person holding the fishing rod on the train happily watched everything unfold. The death of many policemen immediately caused great confusion, and most of the 100 people involved in this case gave up. In the end, only a few, who actually desired it, continued. However, these few trustworthy individuals turned out not to be the old man, but rather Shinichi, who had gone into hiding. The old man was just a decoy. As per the request, the father installed cameras to monitor Kaido, while the agent's wife, determined to find the killer, visited Kaido and handed him a business card with a statement that she knew he had killed her husband. But Kaido didn't pay attention to her words and was about to leave when suddenly the wife called him back, saying that he couldn't kill her and that she would personally bring him to justice. At this point, the statement began to feel uneasy. That evening, when he returned home, he realized that someone had broken into his house. It turned out that before being caught, he had marked the door with a pencil. Meanwhile, the police were monitoring his actions through the camera, along with Kaido's father, who was the chief of police. At that time, the father still believed that his son was innocent, and they had been monitoring him for 10 consecutive days without eating or sleeping. However, Kaido's behavior remained normal, while criminals continued to die. But, well, the final decision had to be made. They decided to retrieve all the cameras, which made the father of the two of us breathe a sigh of relief. No one noticed what was inside Kaido's snack package that day, which received a secret message. Later, he received a phone call from the other end, which was his wife, who had sacrificed her life to ensure our safety. She told him that I was the killer. Shortly after, at an art exhibition, the wife took advantage of the situation. Keiko's girlfriend was used by Zen to call him and pressure Keiko into confessing her crimes. If she refused to confess, Zen would kill her girlfriend. However, Keiko stubbornly denied killing anyone and managed to escape from the grip of Zen's wife. Unexpectedly, Zen's wife shot and killed Keiko's girlfriend. Keiko, overwhelmed by guilt for the innocent person's death, felt that she had committed a grave crime and decided to commit suicide. However, the truth behind the events remained unknown until Kaido, on the train, discovered the name of Zen's wife and the details of the story that the girl would commit suicide. Every step taken was orchestrated by Giza, the god of death, as recorded in the notebook. Giza even had no qualms about giving birth to his female counterparts. The god of death wrote the story and was afraid of it. When I arrived, I had to give up the position of the god of death to you because the god of death does not know many things like that. So, it turns out that the subtle sentence was to impress your father, Dispelling doubts, I also asked your father to allow you to participate in investigating the case. And now, he slowly stepped forward and invited you to join in the pursuit of the culprit. Then, from behind, he pulled out a pack of Bim Bim. The next Bim Bim will be a mental duel between these two intelligent boys who are naturally talented. Actually, it's not scary, but what's frightening is the human heart. The next part of the story will unfold in part 2 in a few days. Let me review it. Thank you all for following the film. What do you think of this movie service? Please leave your comments below so that I know, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.